Hey, what's up everybody? Today we're talking about the Benelli Leoncino 500. This name in Italian loosely translates to Little Lion. This bike is offered in two configurations from Benelli. We're going to be looking at the trail version today. I believe there is a street model as well, but this was the first one that we got put together, so I decided this is the one we're going to do. Before we get started in this video, I do want to make a quick note that only about 6% of you who continue to watch my videos are subscribed. So please consider hitting that subscribe button so you can catch more content from my channel. Alright, enough of that, let's talk specs. This bike is powered by a 499cc fuel-injected parallel twin mated to a 6-speed gearbox. It features a 50mm inverted fork up front, along with a set of 320mm discs with 4-piston calipers and ABS as standard. And out back it's a 260mm disc. Also features fully adjustable suspension in both the rear as well as the front. Also features full LED lighting in the front and the rear as well. And if you remember, I said that it's called the Little Lion, so they put a little lion on the fender. How about that?
How about that?
Okay, no more specs. We're just gonna ride it, so let's get into it. And welcome to the test ride. So just to be perfectly upfront, I've never ridden one of these before. This is my first time genuinely out on this motorcycle. And right away, my first thing I'm noticing, these bars are a little wide. That's okay though. Fueling in low speed scenarios is a little, I don't know what to call it. The bike is very ergonomically comfortable. I'm 6'1" for reference, about 170 pounds. So let's talk about what I would assume to be the direct competitor to the Leoncino 500. I hope I'm saying that right. For me, it's gotta be the Honda CB500F. That bike's been in production for a very long time. Their motor is tried, true, and tested. And of course, Honda, synonymous with reliability. They make a very good motorcycle. They've been doing it for a very long time. It's pretty dialed in. Before we get into that comparison, let's take her through this roundabout and just see how she feels turning in and how much of a lean we can get on it. The bike feels pretty planted. I gotta say, the suspension on this bike is done pretty well, and it seems almost oversized, and it is pretty zippy. I like the zip of the motor. It's not super loud, and it doesn't have that parallel twin engine note that the Kawasaki parallel twin suffers from. I really don't like their parallel twin. Maybe I'll do a video on that eventually. Anyway, the Honda CB500F starts at about $6,500. The Leoncino starts somewhere around $6,800, which I found to be pretty surprising because Benelli doesn't have the reputation that Honda has. They've been around for a very long time, but Americans aren't familiar with them, and I think to be competitive, they should consider their price point and where they're starting at, because if it was up to me, just at a quick glance, and I was familiar with a brand like Honda, I would go for the Honda every single time. It's not even a question. I don't know who Benelli is, you know? And just a quick Google search will tell me they're owned by a Chinese company. Maybe Honda is ultimately owned by China anyway, because everything f***ing is. But, you know, I trust Honda. I don't know if I trust Benelli yet. So this is a 499cc. The Honda's a 471. Makes a claimed 46.9 horsepower. Honda's makes a claimed 50. This bike has a claimed 33 foot-pounds of torque, where the Honda has a claimed 31 foot-pounds. Honda's fork is only 41 millimeters with no adjustability as far as I know. And this is a 50mm inverted fork, which is pretty massive for this size of motorcycle. This bike also runs 320mm discs up front, where the Honda is only running 296. The piston and number of discs are the same though. The Leoncino has about a 30.9-inch seat height, or around 780mm I want to say, and the Honda CB500F has around a 31.1-inch seat height, or around 789mm. The wheelbase on the Leoncino is about an inch longer at 56.8 inches, whereas the Honda is 55.5 inches. But now we're going to do a 0 to 60 test, and after the test I am going to tell you a little bit about Benelli, who owns them, and what's going on with the brand. Okay, when we do the 0 to 60 test, please keep in mind I'm not a professional rider. I've never claimed to be one. I'm going to do my best to get this bike from 0 to 60 as quickly as possible. 3, 2, 1. 60. Alright, now we're cruising at 70 miles an hour, and this bike feels pretty happy at 70. I am getting a ton of wind in the chest. It is a naked bike, so that's to be expected. I'm not surprised about that. So, Benelli, in my video with the TNT 135, by the way, you can watch that right here, I talked about how they're owned by SSR Motorsports, which was founded in 2002, and they have basically made, in their own words, deluxe pit bikes. I'll just tell you right now, their pit bikes are not deluxe. They also claim that they have strict quality control. I guess I could believe that. I don't know what their definition of strict is, and that they are high quality. Let me tell you something. Chinese knockoff dirt bikes, ATVs, side-by-sides, I don't care what it is. Nothing made in China is going to be better than Japanese engineered products. In fact, most of the time, Chinese designs are just workarounds through the patent system where they can basically navigate around the patent laws and make a knockoff version using the highest quality Chinesium money can buy. So just be wary of any Chinese product. I'm not saying they don't have a place, because for budget-oriented people, they definitely do if you don't want to break the bank. But the performance, specifications, and overall fit, finish, and quality, it's just not there when you're looking at them compared to well-known brands like Honda, Yamaha, Kawasaki, or Suzuki. Let that be known. The one exception is CF Moto, and I don't really know what they do differently compared to the other guys, but they do a great job. They make some wonderful products. Leave them out of that category. A couple more side notes here that I just want to hit on before I bring it back. The shifter feels like it takes a lot of upward motion from your foot to shift. I had that same problem on the CF Moto 650 NK. Not the end of the world, something you'd probably get used to, but I don't care for that. I like to be able to reach that without much effort. Also, they claim that this bike gets 58 miles to the gallon, or about 200 miles to a tank, which isn't super far. It's not the longest range in the world, but it's not the best. The Honda CB500F gets a claim like 80 miles per gallon, which means it's getting about 300 miles to a tank, which that is impressive. Okay, with the unpredictable throttle on this bike, I guess we're just gonna test if it wheelies. Remember to cover that back brake, kids. Brought the front wheel up. It could wheelie a lot better. I'm just not very good at wheeling on motorcycles I'm not familiar with, so yes, it does wheelie. And that will conclude our test ride of the Benelli Leoncino 500. And now I've got to give you my final verdict on this motorcycle. If you're looking for something that's a little bit less common, has a very plush ride, a lot of adjustability to suit your specific rider dimensions, great features like LED lighting, ABS, or maybe just a little hood ornament, and you don't mind that it's a little bit more expensive compared to already existing very well-known products from reputable manufacturers, then I would say this is a good buy. But if you're like me, you're a little bit weary and on the fence about who Benelli is, who produces them, and would be hesitant to pull the trigger on something like this because you really just don't know anything about them. If you're anything like me and you'd rather spend your money with someone who you know and trust, who has a great dealer network and has been building motorcycles for significantly longer than Benelli and is still somehow cheaper, then this is a definite good buy. This is not for me. I don't know if it's for you. That's for you to decide. Anyway, let's outro. Hey everyone, welcome to the end of the video. Thanks for making it this far. If you enjoyed what you just watched, please consider checking out some of my other videos. I've got a whole playlist of all the motorcycle content that I've done, and you can find that right here. And if you feel like you genuinely enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like on it so more people can find this content who have the same mindset as you. We're inching our way closer and closer to 2,000 subscribers. I'd love to hit it before the end of the year. It's not the end of the world if we don't, but it is a goal of mine, so every subscription counts, and I would super appreciate it. That's all I've got for now. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and ride safe.